Went out and looked in the dumpster this morning, left my phone over in the little office. Look what I found in the dumpster today. I'll be a son of a buck. And there's just some days you get lucky. So I got some plans for this. And get this out of here and drag this home. So I got my little FBI dog with me today, guys. We're gonna throw her over on the couch. She can shadow us here. Got roped into a little project here. Once I brought this pipe home, I found that there was a whole bunch of holes all over it. It almost looked like a dog or an animal bit into it. You can see a couple of them right in there. That kind of makes this a little bit different ball game because I sure don't want a bunch of holes in my sluice. I'll show you guys what I did here. There's going to be a million ways to make one of these sluice. When it comes to this kind of material over here, maybe you can catch some pointers off of what I did on mine. I've already went through, guys, and built my sluice. So it's already done. I didn't make a video of it while I was doing it because there's just this fabrication or that modification that I had to do to it. It would have been a real hard one to try to film. Now that it's complete, I can just show you how I went about it and did it. Show you about this material here, what this looks like. This plastic piece here, it is not a gutter for a house to catch water. This piece I also found too. So it was just some old scrap kind of trim that I had found. The key to it was you see these those little sidekicks, those little legs right there that come out. That was the most important part in deciding to use this piece. If you get some gutter material, you can find gutter material for your house that has those little kicks, those little 33-degree or whatever angle those are. So that's what makes it important. I'm going to move the camera over to the overhead, kind of show you guys what I did here and how I got the measurements and all of that good stuff. So here's the piece that is left over. You can see that I have it marked. I like to use, of course, I mean, what else are you going to use but some kind of white marker on this? So I used that to mark the line. I went back and grabbed this piece of pipe because you can see this green stripe all the way across. Sometimes these pipes have lettering on it indicating what size or what the corrugation is. How I got my baseline to be able to mark it correctly was this green stripe. If you don't have that, it's going to be a little bit different ball game, but got lucky on this one. Still had something there as an indicator so I could get all my little markings perfectly straight. I just used that as my reference. Now, how is a guy going to go and put straight lines across there, right? What I did was I put the pipe in here like this and duct taped it here so it was firm inside my straight edge because it wants to walk away, see, because it's flimsy and flexible. So I duct taped it down. I put my markings across there like that. You'll see 3 different marks. That's just because I had to kind of do a little bit of different calculations. You might make it longer, clip it in there, give it a shot, see if it works, and then maybe have to cut it down a little bit because maybe it doesn't fit in there so good. That's kind of why I have those different markings on there. But now on this piece here, how do you figure out how wide of a piece do you need to fit inside of here? You know, you can try to take a tape measure and you're not gonna be able to get a tape measure in here because it's not gonna bend along perfectly. I guess if you were a seamstress and you had one of those flexible tapes that people use for fabric, that would work too. I have a pretty long history when it comes to sheet metal and building and construction. I'll tell you right now, the best thing to do is just a plain old piece of paper to get that measurement. For the most part, what you do is you just get a piece of paper in here. This way, this little tiny piece of paper, it's gonna really conform to what you're trying to measure, right? Get it real good and tight to whatever you're trying to measure. And then what I did was, you know, I kind of just stuffed it up underneath this lip like this. And my old trusty pocket knife, I use 1,000 times a day. It'll come up in here, make a scratch, and this is going to give me my measurement. It's real easy to do, and you have a very good measurement. Now, of course, sometimes the material is a little thick and it has these bumps in it, right? I'll tell you right now, when I made the pipe this wide, I could not get it stuck in here. That's why, going back to this again, that's why I have these different measurements, because at first it was here. And I actually had to go another 3/8 of an inch shorter to where it would fit in here. I did a little bit here with some V-matting up here. I wasn't going to do it, but I thought, you know what the heck, I got some extra V-matting. I cut this template out exactly the same. When I went to do it, the piece that I had was this much longer, but I found that it kind of helps flare it out a little bit for the water to go in. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep it. So I got a little piece of V-matting in there. I'm not completely done with this thing just yet. I still got a little bit of work to do on it. Pretty much what I did on here was I just came in, clicked it in there like that, and voila. This baby's good to go. We can use it out on the creek. Of course, this is going to be the front side, right? Where I'm going to pour the material in. What do we have here, guys? We have us a little problem right here. What's going to happen on here is you probably can see that little gap right there. That gap is no good. That's going to let water go underneath this. So we're going to have to seal that off with some silicone. I've got some silicone over here. This part here has, like I said, there's a couple little puncture marks in here. We surely don't want that. That'll allow water to get up behind here. So I'm going to seal it off. Good old Mr. James Culver, he turned me on to a thing and a product that he has used on one of his sluices. I'm going to give that a shot to just coat this section. Do not need to coat this. This is V-matting. It's going to be fine just the way it is. There's no holes in there. Let me get to the silicone, guys. We will seal this piece up first. Then we'll get to applying a coating on this part. This part back here doesn't need any silicone. It fits very, very, very tightly to this piece of plastic. It's just this part right here that we got to throw some silicone on. Here's my silicone. This is the way I store it usually. I don't like these little tubes because they're kind of a pain and they come with this cap. But to store it here for the last couple years, wondering what you guys do out there. If you guys got any tips or tricks to store silicone, you know, you cut it open, and before too long it's already dried out the next time you go to use it, and it's a total pain. Last few years I've been doing this with the regular ones, going through and putting a wire nut on there, and I'll fill that wire nut full of silicone, and then I'll just electrical tape it. It seems to be working pretty good, but yeah, I'd like to see what any of you do out there to keep the silicone going on for longer than just one use. And we'll see how this is. I'm going to use some clear today. I have a tube of black, but I haven't broke into it yet, so it doesn't matter. I mean, would you really, you know, everything's black, you probably should use black, but clear will work just as good. White, whatever you got, beige. And as you can see, I opened this up probably about 4 months ago, barely used any of it, and it's still, that electrical tape really kind of seals it in. We'll get in here and we'll throw us a nice big fat bead of silicone across here. I'm not going to use it very sparingly. I really want kind of a nice big bulk here since it's a rather thick joint. So I've got that silicone spread out. On this one here, I'm just going to take my finger, rub it across real nice. Of course, you're always going to have a little bit left over on your finger. You can take all that and go back over it one more time, a couple times, and that right there, that joint is a done dealio. The electrical tape just seems to really seal out any oxygen. That's what's going to make that silicone hard, is oxygen. So I like to wrap it around 2-3 times even, and really just get this all sealed off as best as I can. Try to get some more mileage out of this baby. And should be good for the next time. So for the coating I'm going to use on this sluice that James turned me on to, it is this stuff here, high temp silicone paint and coating. If you guys want to know, or if you ever do this or need some of this, just hit me up on my email, goldpansuntan@gmail.com, and I can let you know more about the product if you want. The brand name is DEI. But I'm going to go take this stuff. I gotta shake this can up really good. I'll do that off camera. I'm gonna take this stuff outside. I'm not gonna spray inside my house. I'm gonna put a nice thick coating over the top of this. That piece of paper that I used for the template over here to find the measurement, I'm gonna lay that other piece of paper over the top here, just because I don't need this to be coated. This is VMAT. This is gonna be working good as it is already. And we'll get the coating applied to this corrugated plastic. Whew, it is pretty windy out here. I know. I can already hear it in the comments now. Goldpan, why the hell are you putting a $15 application on a 50-cent piece of pipe? I get it. Well, number one is I want to see what this product is about and test it and see how it works. Number two was I dragged this piece of pipe home, and I always like to just kind of reuse stuff. I'm just gonna do a couple quick, nice sprays across it like this. Nice and even. That looks pretty good. Those little puncture marks, I don't see them anymore. Guys, we'll let this stuff dry up. Won't take long out here in this wind. I was told that I do need to get this stuff heated up. It needs heat to be activated, so I'm going to take a torch over the top of it, just get it a little hot. I can't get it too hot because it's plastic, but I can just kind of burn it a little bit. Once this is all dried, guys, I'll be back with the torch and we'll get that done. We're back. It's been about 3 or 4 hours. This stuff's pretty dried up, pretty good. It is kind of grippy a little bit. I kind of feel a little bit of resistance there, so that's good. Let's get it cured a little bit with some MAP gas, the old Burns-O-Matic. All right, guys, so it is a done dealio. I wanted to give you some measurements on how long this thing is. I made it 35 inches long. It's got about 9 inches of V-matting in it. I wanted a nice little length of that. Plenty of room for a scoop to hit the V-matting. Overall length is 35 inches and this corrugated is about 27. And guys, as you know, you do not need to put V-matting. You don't have to use this spray on it. That corrugated material is fine all by itself. It doesn't need any fancy spray. I just did it because I had those holes. Guys, I'll see you out at a stream or creek soon whenever the ice goes away. That won't be very much longer. It'll be gone here in a little bit. And then we'll put this thing to use and see how it goes. Guys, we appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for watching. Smash out our subscribe button if you get a chance. Hope you guys have a good day or evening out there. Goldpan Suntan is out.